Welcome, everybody. No, I'm just kidding. Go ahead.
Are we live? That's it? That's how you're going to tell us we're live?
Showbiz.
We are live. Watch party for college basketball, even though right now we are watching the Raw after Mania, the greatest Raw of the calendar year. With that, my name is Sean Jansen, also joined by the Philly captain. Are you as exhausted as I am, Philly captain? It's been a weekend.
Watching wrestling's hard.
Oh my gosh.
And they do these things now where they have 2 nights of wrestling instead of 1 night of wrestling. And I'm exhausted because when I go to a wrestling event, I don't just watch the wrestling.
I'm invested.
I walk around the stadium. I take in the event. I go into the stores. So I walked 30 miles the last 3 days.
You walked 30 miles?
Yeah, it's not an exaggeration. I can show you the app.
Yeah.
But it's been exhausting. I and watching these wrestlers, and I was watching like Cody Rhodes. He was doing interviews all day.
Yep.
Today's show, Philadelphia morning show, and now he's out here. These professional wrestlers, these WWE superstars are one of the hardest working group of
Yes, they are.
artistic performers there are. And people mock these men and women. They say they're not athletes, but if I did any of these things that these 2 men are doing in the ring right now,
that would not go well.
I would be paralyzed for the rest of my life.
Yeah, that would not go very well. We're going to be having guys go around with QR codes, get you signed up for cuts, and also be putting some answers in for the game today, win some prizes.
If I'm one of the people watching this at home, right? Is there a way for me to get the app Cut? By the way, you spell cut K-U-T-T, not C-U-T.
Yes.
Because listen, I know the guy from Cuts here, but I'm going to let him know. I hate when businesses spell the goddamn words wrong.
Oh, I love
Have you ever seen Ambulance?
I used to be.
Have you seen this company, Ambulance, and they end it with a Z? It's Ambulance with a Z.
I used to be.
I'd rather die than get saved by an ambulance.
Back in the day when I was a kid and AIM, I would not spell cool C-O-O-L. I do it K-E-W-L. I love doing all that weird stuff. Brace does not type out any words correctly.
He does not.
He still does the letter just U for you. He does THX for thanks.
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't. Yeah, so I'm a big fan of modifying the words a little bit.
Not to fire some shots, but
you're about to.
Sean can't spell some of the words in abbreviates
come on.
either.
That's not right.
Spelling's highly overrated, just so you know. It's not that big of a But anyway, speaking of not spelling good, don't forget the best social betting platform is Cut. K-U-T-T, because let's spell it wrong twice with 2 T's.
KUTT.com. Put your money where your mouth is.
It's a good thing, too, because like if I was going to bet you, and I know you're a jerk off, and you're not going to pay off the bet.
I am.
We put the money into the Cut app.
Yeah,
and then your jerk off friend has to pay.
I've already lost plenty of money on the Cut app. On KTT.com, referral code GAMBLER when you sign up. And then you can see right now on the Cut app, UConn, 7-point favorites against the Boilermakers. Joe, though, these are the 2 best teams in college basketball?
Yes, and I'm glad we get it because the NCAA tournament has been kind of boring.
Wow, it's been boring. I mean, first round was okay.
You know what wasn't boring? That WrestleMania weekend.
That was not boring.
It was pretty goddamn good.
We should get it. I mean, I feel like these 2 teams have been pretty dominant.
But I think you can make the argument, though, that UConn did have the taxing game.
Is that 100-year-old nun part of this game? You know that 100-year-old nun, Sister Mary? Is she part of it?
No.
All right. I don't watch. I don't watch college basketball.
Still alive, by the way.
How about John Chaney and the Temple Owls? Are they?
I'm gonna say no. They're not in this as well.
Okay.
Temple could have been in it.
They could have.
Yeah, they were close.
They were a bad team all year, I thought.
They were horrible.
Were they in the NIT?
To the point where they were in a betting scandal.
I don't want to get too technical. Were they in the NIT?
No, but in their conference
But they were 1 game away from
one
the
game
NCAA.
away from the tournament. They literally were 1 game away, 1 win away.
They went on like a miracle run in the conference tournament.
How wild is that? Temple.
That they lost by a game? It's not that wild.
It's wild.
I think it's more wild that there's a company spelled Cut and they spelled it wrong twice.
KUTT.
Let's go.
I think this is so evenly matched. I think we're in for a low-scoring game regardless of who wins.
Wow.
What's the over-under? 145
is going 143, but 145.
So we're saying like a low 70s.
Not even.
So you're saying bet
You're
the
saying
under.
60.
Yeah.
You're saying take every penny in my bank account and put it on the under.
Well, that would be irresponsible.
Is
so
Purdue's defense going to be
But
good enough
what if
for
I
that?
download? What if I'm doing it on the Cut app? KUTT.
KUTT.
I should put all my money into that, right?
And I know here, if you use the QR code, everybody in here using the QR code, it is 145 for a yes or no if it's going to be more than 140.
Draft scouts, but that's what it seems like. So that matchup neutralizes. The guard matchup, which I think has been really kind of the underrated storyline of this game, that kind of neutralizes itself too because you have Castle, you have Caravan, you have all these guys on UConn that are so playing. So tough defense, making shots. Well, Purdue's got those guys too. Braden Smith, Lance Jones, you name it. So I think this is a very even matchup. And the way both of these defenses have been playing, man, I just don't see how a high-scoring game comes to be. Because if UConn wins, they're holding the team under. You know, Bama has barely got to that 70-point mark, and the game even went under because it was in the 160s. UConn's 11-1 in their last 12 games to the under. That's very significant. And then you have Purdue, who is not going to play high-scoring games either, and everything that UConn does, Purdue does well as well. So I think we're getting a game that probably scratches the 70s. As we're noting, these national title games typically aren't as high-scoring as we want them. Oh, yeah. And I do think Edey is the one that drives the offense. They get easy points off of Edey. If that's not happening in this game, it's supposed to do. But now he's going up against someone, what, 2-3, at least 2-3 inches taller than him? Yeah, that's always the problem. And Edey's not athletic, but he has skill. You know, he knows obviously how to work in the post very well. So I wonder if that experience and that skill is going to take over for Quinn, who is, to me, the more athletic and, again, NBA-type player, right?
Than Edey is.
Do you agree, Philly Cap?
I'm really excited that The Rock's back in the wrestling. I'm super stoked that, you know, he had that match with Cody Rhodes. I like wrestling. Were you guys talking? I blanked out. Were you guys talking
Oh,
about
no, okay.
because that Caitlin Clark, she's something special, I'll tell you.
What does your gut say tonight? Just give me a gut pick. Because that's probably,
I'll tell you the truth. When
That's,
you tell me Purdue, I think a bunch of white guys, so I go the other team.
Sure.
I
like
mean, look, that's
fair.
better than any of the.
Can you say that these days? I mean, honestly,
Yeah, that's fair.
yeah.
Big Ten basketball.
So I think I'm thinking the movie Hoosiers.
Have you seen a picture of Zach Edey? Are you going to be like astonished when you see him on the television?
Well,
He's a massive human being.
I say he's massive, but like his
name's Zach Edey.
Yes.
Okay.
He's
E-D-E-Y.
a 7'4" Canadian.
Does he spell
center.
it C-A-C-H?
Yes.
Or is he,
Yes,
okay,
he's
so
a CH.
So he's a white fella.
Yes.
Wow.
He's actually a Canadian fella.
Nah.
Yeah.
Canadian basketball player?
A 7'4"
Yeah.
Canadian basketball player.
Listen, I don't want to get canceled, but I never knew Canadians played basketball. I thought they just did the hockey.
Oh,
some of them occasionally play lacrosse, and a few of them wrestle. Like that. That's
I mean, Steve Nash.
If I listen to you close enough, you kind of sound Canadian with your accent.
No, I sound like a guy born in Kensington, and I moved to Port Richmond.
But
it's right next door.
If I sprinkled a little bit of maple syrup on you, I
don't you dare! I got texture. I got texture issues. I don't eat maple syrup.
Sticky.
I don't do jelly.
Really? No maple syrup. Too sticky, I guess.
I can't do it. I can't do it. Jelly. I used to work at a deli, and I would have to put jelly on bagels, but I would never put a lot because it would freak me out. And I had a lady almost get me fired. She said I was too cheap with the jelly.
Oh.
And I called her.
You just had to tell her I had a fear of jelly.
I said, listen, I don't like touching this stuff. Why don't you make the bagel at home like a normal person? Like who the heck goes out to the deli to make a bagel, you know?
Yeah, a jelly bagel too.
Yeah.
Listen, by the way, honey, the jelly's not doing you any favor.
It's like well, if I order a bagel at a restaurant or like a toast, I put jelly on my own toast. You know what I mean?
See, that's why I like you.
To get, yeah.
That's why I like. So the big white guys playing what's the other school guy?
UConn.
What they got?
They've got a 7'2" guy.
They have a Danny Hurley.
Yes.
Is he skinny? Are they skinny?
He's athletic, but he's not skinny. No, he's not like skinny.
Are they Manute Bulls? Or are they Joel Embiid?
They're in the middle.
In the middle. So they're Sean Bradley.
They're like the second stage. They're like the second form of Pokemon.
Listen, you come to me for all the
yes, because Philly Captain knows Pokemon very well.
Does that translate?
Guy? Philly Captain?
Pokemon guy?
Yeah.
I like women.
Nice.
So no.
Okay.
No, I
do too, but I also like Pokemon.
No, I had Pokemon Go when it first came out.
Oh, nice.
And
nice.
And then I did it for about three days, and then I realized, what am I doing with myself? Life is so precious. I should be watching.
Why are you walking around staring at your phone?
Life is so precious. You got to catch them all. You know, you got to figure it out.
But and then I found out that they're going to be making new ones. Is that still a game, Pokemon Go?
Yes, it is.
Do people still play it?
I don't.
They do. They have groups of people that meet and they walk around this. I see them sometimes.
You should pick up Pokemon Go again. Maybe you should go out and
No, these people look like pathetic losers, and I don't want anything to do with them. I'm a wrestling fan. We're sophisticated people. I don't know.
Sophisticated losers.
What, like a pint glass? Or
yeah,
like
it's a Sam Adams pint glass.
a Sam Adams.
Yeah.
I don't do that.
And maybe they'll fill it for you. Who knows?
That sounds too
Well,
sophisticated.
know what I would recommend? If anybody's here, I don't know if you heard about Nick's roast beef sandwiches, but the roast beef sandwich is banging. It's one of the best sandwiches in the city.
That is a fantastic sandwich.
Yeah, and the fries are good too. Don't be sleeping on the fries. Sometimes you go to places and the fries are garbage. They're decent fries. They're good fries.
I can almost ruin an entire sandwich for me if the fries are bad because it has to. It has to be a complete package.
Do you eat when you eat food? Do you eat fries then sandwich, or do you?
No, I pick it both. I honestly do end up going for the fries first. That's like the warm up a little bit.
When I eat fast
I don't
food,
eat all the fries, but I go for the fries.
You
first.
separate.
When I do fast food, I do that. But when I'm out, like a civilized person, no, I kind of
when you go to like Lebec Fin, you get French fries. Lebec Fin's a fancy restaurant.
I have no idea what that is?
Sorry,
do I look like a guy that puts my pinky out and goes to Lebec Fin?
I'm just saying.
You put on a suit and tie.
I'm surprised you know what Lebec Fin is.
Yeah, you'd be surprised
talking to you.
You'd be surprised what I know. You'd be surprised.
Philly Captain's a fine diner.
I used to work at the most
you
exclusive.
didn't give me a pick, by the way.
I used the white guys.
Well, that's
Purdue
that's a
or UConn.
kind of coward's way out. Yeah. Just pick somebody.
Purdue.
Oh, I don't care. Where's Purdue located?
Indiana.
Yeah. All right. And there was
UConn is in Connecticut.
Oh, they got good hot dogs. They got the hot dogs.
Yeah, the Hartford hot dog place.
Hot dogs. And they got the potato sticks they put on the hot dogs.
Yes, they do. Oh, it's fantastic.
I'm going to go with UConn just because I like their hot dogs.
Front runner. Okay.
I'm going with
I'm not a front runner.
I'm going with
I don't know anything about the team. I just thought the 7-foot guy was a black guy.
Wrestling with that guy.
Speaking of wrestling, look at that.
Look at you. What a good host.
WWE champion Damian Priest.
Beautiful. Look at that suit.
Went to wrestling school in New Jersey.
Monster Factory.
Yeah. It's
shout out Monster Factory.
I don't know if I ever bragged about this to you, but I'm a professional wrestling manager. I manage Onslaught, the hairiest, scariest man in professional wrestling. And me and Onslaught.
Is that proven? Is that a fact that he's the hairiest?
You show me a hairier shoulder in the world. Most wrestlers know what they do. They shave.
Oh, yeah.
Right? They want to show off their body.
You got to look good.
Onslaught, he figured, you know what? I'm so hairy, it's disgusting. Nobody's going to want to touch me. People are going to be they're just going to get the match over, and Onslaught will pin them.
That is a solid strategy.
Well, I'm this manager. I'm the greatest manager.
Is that what you told him?
Philadelphia.
Yeah.
Yes.
No shaving.
I'm not bragging or nothing. I had 2 matches this week.
Did you win?
I lost both of them.
Oh.
I got punched in the face by Big Dan Champion, one of the guys who used to manage.
Now
me.
I got to go the other way. If you're betting UConn, I got to go the other way. You're just losing all weekend.
Right.
Yeah, but that means I'm due. You're either hot or you're due. Right now I'm due.
The good news is John's pretty bad at gambling, and I've been pretty bad in March Madness.
Terrible gambling.
None of our opinions really matter.
I find most people. I do a lot of things with the social media, and I do stuff with other places, and I do shows, and I find out off the air, just so everybody knows when I watch this, nobody's good at gambling.
No.
That's why they all have jobs as radio show hosts, because they don't know what the hell they're doing.
I don't know what I'm doing as a host.
Think about this, folks. If they were good at gambling, wouldn't they just gamble? Why would they waste their time?
That's why we're here hawking cut and Nick's roast beef. That's why we're here. We're bad gamblers. We have to pay the bills.
Well, I'm here to talk about wrestling because I'm the greatest professional wrestler to come out of Philadelphia. And don't forget, folks, you spelled cut the wrong way. K-U-T-T. 2 T's for that time you ducked out of. I don't know what 2 T's would be, but
2 technicals.
It's a great. And what's one of the questions on the thing? If you want to take part of it tonight, is who will be leading the game at the first commercial break,
which is going to be UConn. I think UConn's going to dominate from the first whistle to the last.
Well, hold on. What if somebody gets hurt?
We don't want that.
I'm just talking about if you're going to make a bet. What if you go to the game, you buy a ticket to the game, you throw a chair and make a commercial break happen? You saw about the guy at the Super Bowl who jumped on the field, and you know what he did? He bragged, and they said, "No bet.
Yes,
no
they
bet.
didn't. That guy is an idiot.
Yeah,
that is so dumb. Don't do anything.
People who make content for the social media are so dumb.
So,
by the way, check out my YouTube channel, Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok.
Yes, Philly Captain.
Philly Captain.
He's been experienced. He's been so dominant.
When did Purdue get good?
Couple
They've been
years.
good.
They've been good.
They just don't do well in the tournament. They're like
Ivy League, right?
not even close.
Not even
No.
no.
Big Ten.
Big
They're
Ten.
on
So
Penn
they're not
State's,
even that smart. So maybe
They're like Penn State.
They're pretty
Penn
smart.
State?
Yeah.
They're like
Oh,
Big
don't
Ten.
say it like that because they did some horrible things. Google Jerry
Well, not that,
Sandusky.
not that, but the sports, the athletics, the
Purdue-
league that they're in. The league that they're in.
Purdue actually produces
Yeah.
a lot of astronauts.
Really?
Fun fact.
We don't have astronauts no more.
Yeah.
Like we don't even have NASA. What are you talking about?
Josh Dobbs, wasn't he an astronaut?
He was, yeah.
Yeah.
He was
What?
like an astronautical engineer.
They work for. Didn't you hear the news? Elon Musk runs NASA now. He
runs NASA.
We bought space. He bought SpaceX.
Do they break down as much as his Teslas?
I don't know. I'll never buy one of those things. By the way, you're a sucker if you buy an electric car. Just going out. You don't have an electric car sponsor, do you?
How do we get to it now? How do we?
I don't know. But if he,
Well, I mean, we're not getting one anymore now.
No, because listen, I don't know if you watch the news, but people were driving through Chicago in the winter, and I don't know, like batteries die faster in the cold. They're not going to come out with a cure for warm batteries in like the next 10 years.
They got to cure warm battery disease.
Right. There's other things to worry about than Elon Musk. And everybody, they're going to make us buy these stupid cars with batteries, and their cars are going to be blowing up. We're all dead.
So back to UConn.
Oh, yeah.